Just so we're clear, it's about to be the longest intro ever. Sit tight. Hey, I love when I have enough footage of things that have been going on with me that I can make a vlog, a sewing vlog. I just think that's so dope because I see lifestyle creators making vlogs, and I'm just like, if I sew, y'all just here to see me sew, but I'm a real person, and sometimes I want to talk about some things. So I think this will be a very good and fun video. So I'm gonna take you over the last couple of weeks with me. It won't be too long, but I think you all will enjoy this. So we're going to start with me getting ready for my vendor show. So I hope you all enjoy, and I'll just fill you all in as we go along, but I think you will enjoy. All right. I'm Stacie. If you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe, because you're going to want to stay here, girl. Don't, what are you doing? You're gonna want to stay here. Go ahead and subscribe, and let's get to the video, and I hope you all enjoy, and I'll be back to talk to you in the very end. All right. So, for starters, the vendor show that I will be participating in is the Black Days Business Expo by my AKA chapter. Every year we've been doing it, and we always offer like such a great program, hence these bullets that I'm showing you here. And I just really want to be a part. I love sewing, I love making my own products, but I had one issue. Baby, all I had was a bag and a dream. I had a bunch of stuff cut up, ready to be sewn, but the time just had not been there. So, what was a girl to do? And also, let me mention that my grandmother had been sick, so my time was just very short. So I had to think quick. But Granny likes to sew just like me. As a matter of fact, she taught me how to sew. So since I was sitting with her a bit, I was like, let me try to make something shake real fast. So while at Granny's house, I pulled out my bag of fabric pieces that were ready to be sewn together. And I looked at her and I was like, Granny, you want to sew with me? She was so down for it. So we got to work. So we made tons of scrunchies. And let me tell you this, I don't think I've ever gone in the store and said, oh, I'm going to buy some fabric to make scrunchies. I always use my scraps, okay? To me, there's just no such thing as like trash. You can use your scraps to fill in like a poof, that you're resting your legs on. You can use them to make scrunchies. I am a staunch believer that you need to use satin anything on your head. If it's cotton, I do not recommend it, but please protect your hair. So after making so many scrunchies, and mind you, my scrunchie pattern was hand drafted by me. Can't tell you anywhere that I downloaded it from. Just something that I tried, different lengths, different widths. I made it, I stitched it up, I made the tubular structures. And after that, I figured out the amount of elastic that would be needed to make it the perfect scrunch. And that was it. We made a whole bunch of scrunchies. That's one of them. I was exhausted. Look at my eyes, y'all. Like, whoo. So these are my scrunchies. And for the most part, we could put this to the side and move on to the next item. Hair bonnets. My satin line hair bonnets. Much like my scrunchies, I always keep some bonnet pieces pre-cut. So I always go out, I find fashion fabric that I think is really cute, but they will always be lined with satin. Again, anything to protect your hair, I'm going to do it. But the problem was, I have a job, and I ain't tripping, thank you Lord for my employment. But I didn't have time to make these bonnets. So time was getting closer and closer. So again, I had to think quick on my feet. When my sorority sister, who pretty much is like my blood sister at this point, we've been friends for so many years, she reached out and was like, sis, I know you got a lot going on. Is there anything that I could do to help you? I said, well, you know what? You sure can. Y'all, she was going to come over here and help stuff elastic into the hair bonnets. No, baby, I had a plan in action. When she came over here, I was like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, but I'm about to teach you how to sew, and we're going to knock this out in about a couple hours. She was like, wait a minute, what? I've never sewn anything. I was like, I promise, give me 10 minutes. Let me show you what I did with her in 10 minutes, y'all. I pulled out scrap fabric, I put it down, I showed her what to do, back stitching, forward stitching, all the things, how to thread a bobbin, how to thread your machine, all these things. She was nervous, but she trusted me. And I'm telling y'all, I had my girl sewing. She was so happy, she couldn't believe it. And it was a proud moment for me too, because y'all know I'm about to start teaching sewing classes. Look like that thing is coming together a little bit quicker than I imagined, and I'm here for it. One thing about me, I have a lot of stuff, but I'm going to use my stuff. Baby, I've used the elastic till she fell off the bone. I don't know how long I've had this roll, but this is my second one that I've gone through. And she is a winner chicken dinner from Amazon, because when I started buying elastic, I'm not going to say started, but when I started doing my bonnet business, the pandemic people with the face mask, they bought all the elastic, so I had to go on Amazon, and it just makes me happy. I'm not driving all over the world for elastic, but I like it's time to put in another order, because yeah, I had to do what I had to do. All right. So it was right at about this point that things started going downhill. Number one, Vanessa had left me for the day, and me cutting the elastic for the bonnets gave me a minute to just kind of get away from the sewing machine. But when I went back to the sewing machine, that's when I was like, okay, well, not only are you now out of elastic, girl, you have no more thread. You need black thread. Where is your thread? So I had to just go ahead, and think quick and on my toes. Had to pull out some serger thread. I had to wind my bobbin. Like, this is why I miss Joann Fabrics. I miss being able to just get my behind in the cart and just run over there, get my Coats and Clark thread. That is what I choose to sew with. A lot of people like Guterman. I am a Coats and Clark girl. And yeah, I did what I could, but eventually I had to just go ahead and give up the ghost. So for anyone who cares, I just arrived at Hobby Lobby. You can see it right there, because I feel like everything I put my hand on, I ran out of, which is a good thing, because I believe in using stuff up as opposed to continuously buying stuff, because I can hoard some things when it comes to my crafts. So yeah, I've been using things up, and today was that mission. But now I'm at the point of like, girl, get in the car with your list and go get your things. So I'm about to run up in here. I got 30 minutes before they close. Got a small list. All right, y'all. And I'm gonna take y'all with me tomorrow when I do my vendor show. I don't know if I've ever been at Hobby Lobby when they were closing, but it is what it is. I had to get some stuff. Not me in the store happy because I didn't walked up in here when they about to lock the doors, but I got what I needed. It was time to go back and finish up my stuff. So once I left Hobby Lobby, I went to my grandparents' house. My mom was over there. We sat there. I sewed. They stuffed elastic. I closed up the bonnets. And we just made a night of it. I got home probably around 11 something. And even though I knew I needed to be up early the next morning for the actual event, but I still had some things that I wanted to do. Case in point, this label maker. I have been using this Label Range thermal label printer for probably about 4 years now, and I normally only use it for printing labels when I'm actually mailing off bonnets when people buy them from my website. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I'm like, you have great things at home. Let's make these bags worthwhile. Let's make them memorable. So I went into Canva, created a nice thank you sticker to go on my bags, and I was so pleased. I even took the time to create some stickers for the scrunchies, and I had the little card stock to put that on for the display. And here we are now at the vendor event. It was such a good time. It was such a beautiful day. So much knowledge was given. I got to meet so many people. So many people complimented me on the presentation. They love my products. Like, it was just a good time. Then you need an outlet from what you do day after day after day after day. So this event was just absolutely beautiful. People in the community were definitely enlightened on the importance of having your finances in order, having a good credit score. What do you need to do to get a new home? Like, it's beautiful. It was a great day. And I had my best assistant ever with me, my mama. Like, shouts out to my mama, and she's a cutie pie. So she's always so helpful. She knows the ropes with what I do now. It just works. So before I go in this house and peel these wet clothes off because I got caught in the rain. I just wanted to talk about real quick how we can talk ourselves out of things sometimes, and it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, I was very bummed about the fact that I knew I was going to vend today, like sell my handmade products, but I was crushed because I wanted to do something a little bit different than I normally do. I hadn't made fold over clutches in a long time. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And it was like everything was getting in the way of me finishing what I needed to do. Like, I barely got my clutches. I'm sorry, I barely got my scrunchies done. I barely got my hair bonnets done. And I was really like, I just felt defeated because I didn't get the other things together that I wanted to sell. Yeah, I had a great day. I had a great day, the engagement, the money I made. And I'm like, I was really feeling like trash. Like, it's really stormy, so yeah. But I was really feeling like, Stacie, you know, like, and y'all, if anybody who knows me, if I'm sewing, if I'm working on something, I'm not talking on the phone. I'm not wasting time. I'm always challenging myself to do something that I hadn't done before. So even like with my branding of my things, like you all will see all of that in just a second, but I just wanted to lead out with, do not talk yourself out of something that may be good for you in the long run, because people were very excited about my hair bonnets. And I really thought like, oh, everybody's sick of my hair bonnets. No, like, fresh group of people, my energy, you know, my engagement with them, like, yo, and it's just been a lot going on lately. And I, you know, was just trying to not be sad about everything that's been happening, but I'm pushing on. You know, when I need to be quiet and reflect, I do. I try not to react real quick, you know. So it's just been a lot of stuff going on lately that I really been wanting to kind of snap about. But I'm like, no, you know, read your Bible, go take a nap. You know, are you hungry? Like, all these things. And like right before it was time for the event this morning, I just felt defeated. All for me to just turn around and have a beautiful day. So step out there, do it scared, do it broken, you know, just, it's up. Like, I'm a believer and God ain't let me down yet. So I don't even know why I was on myself like the way I was, but today was great. My sister had my youngest niece some years ago, probably about six years ago now. She's 6. So she wanted me to create a maternity dress for her. And she wanted to do a maternity shoot. And I was like, okay, great. She was like, it's my last baby. This is it. We going out with a bang. Cool. So she and her husband were very excited. And so I created this dress for her. Insert dress. It's so good. I used some mesh fabric that had sequin stars, you know, kind of stitched onto it or whatever. And of course, I got it from Joann's, RIP to a real one. Anyway, I made that dress for her, and I kind of was like, I love y'all know I love me some mesh. You know, I'm not gonna ever go all the way naked on y'all because I ain't that girl, but I'm gonna give you something with like a little bra underneath or something like that. Anyway, made that dress for her, and it was a hit. And I always wanted to make the dress for myself, but I'm gonna do something different. So her baby wanted to have an all princess party. She was like, everybody has to dress up. You have to be a princess. You have to be a princess. Like, she was not playing. She'd been talking about this for some months. And y'all know her TT was on board because I'm animated. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is the one that loves dressing up, acting a nut like me. Love this. I love my baby. So let's do this. So I was like, what can I become but I wanted to make something that I could kind of rock again. I'm gonna be Princess Jasmine from Aladdin. The reason I'm going with that is I did not want to start from scratch. I did not want to buy fabric and spend money. That's stupid. I ain't even gonna hold you. I got like 8 containers of fabric in the basement. Now, a lot of it is kind of separated by season. So I have some wools, and I mean several. Like I have some good heavyweight stuff, and then I have some summer springy stuff. But I knew I could become Princess Jasmine because I had this purple accordion pleat fabric that I got from Joann Fabrics. I want to say the beginning of last year, like spring of last year. I made the pink accordion pleat fabric into a 1-sleeve dress, and actually what is an evening gown, and that was a hit. I have it in green. I have yet to touch it. Green is my favorite color, but the purple, I thought I was going to wear it for my high school's 125th school anniversary. At any rate, we're gonna use the purple. So Princess Jasmine, yeah, she has like some cool looks or whatever, but I scoured Pinterest to make this thing come to life. So we are going to use McCall's 8087 and the rack number, because I know when I got it, I'm not sure if they were all printed like this, but when I got it, it was on the rack at Joann's, and the rack number is R10526, but again, Joann's is no more. And so McCall's 8087, if you are ordering, I'm pretty sure they're making, you know, these with the different numbers on them. So the pattern is very easy to make, and clearly I've had this for a while. Y'all see the little packet is just apart. But what we're gonna do is, let's look at the line drawing. For A, all I want is the top. Okay, you already saw what I did with my sister's dress, but I want to take the top part of the dress. We're not going to do the little flounce or whatever across the top. We're just going to extend the top down just a little bit, and then we're going to use the Primrose pattern. It's a free pattern by Mood Fabrics, the Mood Society. If you're new to the Mood Fabrics website, when you go on there, there's a little breadcrumb that says Mood Society, SEWCIETY, Mood Society. When you click on that, they have tons of free patterns, and I think the first free pattern I ever printed and made were the paper bag pants, and that pattern name is the Primrose pant. So I'm going to use that, and instead of having the paper bag top that sticks up, I'm just going to, you know, go ahead, put probably 3 rows of elastic, and we're going to balloon out the ankles of that. So I will have my Princess Jasmine outfit, and I went and got some chiffon. I wanted the chiffon to be lavender, so it could be like purple with a light purple, but I had a gift card from Michael's. Again, the name of the game was I wasn't going to spend any money, but I wanted it to be an outfit that I would wear again. So basically, I'll have a 2-piece set, off the shoulder, balloon pant. I can wear it with a heel, whatever. Or, no, I'm going to say or. And I'm going to temporarily tack chiffon pieces over me to bring that to life. We're going to have a little head crown. We're going to have a neck piece. It's going to be a vibe. Let's go ahead and get into it because I'm excited. So let's roll. So this is more of a pattern review than a sew along. Sorry, guys. So since my sister had given me a Michael's gift card for Mother's Day, I do not have children, but my family, everybody gives me Mother's Day gifts because I guess I'm just at that age, and I'm a auntie, I'm a TT that's very, very active in the kids' lives. So everybody just loves me and gives me the gifts. Anyway, had this Michael's gift card. I was like, let's go in here, let's give it another shot. So I went in, and I wasn't very pleased again. You know, I mean, they had some stuff, but the pickings are just very slim. Like, who is picking the fabric? Like, put me on the team, Michael. Seriously, hit me up. Let me show you some fabric that the people will want. I'm serious. Like, I'm about to tag y'all in this video. Like, bring me in. Let's go. At any rate, on my picture that I pulled from Pinterest, Princess Jasmine had on a purple like cropped, you know, off sleeve balloon top and some balloon pants, but she had some drapey pieces that she had hanging, and I was like, I don't know what or how I want this to be, but it has to work. The top. So the top, I used pattern piece for the pattern pieces for A, and all I used was the top of the dress. And I basically took this top, I removed this part, so I didn't cut the little flounce over the top. I removed that completely. So all I did was all I did were the sleeves, and where this top would stop, like kind of high up under the boob, I extended it down probably 6 inches. I'm almost certain I came down. Yes, 6 inches. Came down, did that, and then I created a casing because I knew I wanted this to fit a certain way. So this pattern goes size 14 to 22. And I'm only using the top. And you know, whenever you're looking at the finished garment measurements, which, child, I didn't tore this pattern apart. The top part ain't even on here. But oh, it is here. The finished garment measurements, it says back length from base of neck. That's all it's giving. So I'm pretty sure it's the finished garment measurements for the top are actually printed on here, but we're not worried about that. I took my measuring tape and I measured around my shoulders, mainly for the elastic, because I was like, okay, I have broad shoulders. I've always had broad shoulders. I needed to make sure that this top would sit the way that I needed it to sit. I didn't want to be trying to pull it down all day. I didn't want it to be sitting up higher than I needed. I wanted it to sit just how it's sitting. But to also help with that, for this elastic, when I created this casing, I used a 3/8 inch elastic. So I used a 1/4 inch elastic everywhere else. Like I said, in the pants, the band of the pants, around the ankles of the pants, and even when I made the sleeves, I used the 1/4 inch elastic there. But for the top of my top, as well as the elastic under the bottom of it, I use the 3/8 inch elastic as well, because I wanted something that would sit more flat to me and not have the urge to kind of roll up. So that's it. I made a casing right here, and I made a casing around the wrist. I made a casing under the bottom. You got to see beyond what you have on the packet. So for those pattern pieces, I only cut 3. I cut, not even looking at it, I cut what would be the part for the front, which was just a piece of fabric cut on the fold. Same thing with the back. Cut a piece of fabric on the fold, and I immediately, because I knew those 2 pieces would look just alike, I put my tag in it such that I wouldn't get those confused. I really don't think it would have made that much of a difference, but I just be on the safe side. You never know, there could be a little bit of a extra inch or 2 in the front to account for your boobs versus the back. Who knows? Who cares? If it's a back piece, as quick as I can put that label in there, I go ahead and do that. So I put the back label, put the label in the back. I stitched it up on the side, and the sleeves, you pretty much, you know, turn it in, stitch down, you know, turn the right side facing, stitch down the side, and then you matched the sleeve head to the front and back of the top. So you can kind of see the seam here. And we just got to work, stitched them, and then once I had them there, I created my casing just like the instructions said to do, and put that in, and that was it. That was my top, y'all. Very easy sew. I have a couple of pieces of fabric that need to just turn into some cute tops. I may do this again, just because I don't want summer to pass me by and be like, hey, I wanted to wear that as a top this summer and I didn't do it. So I think I'm going to do that, use that top again, since I have this pattern already out. That was it. So then it was time to get dressed. So the one thing I knew I would have to do, because my inspiration pick for becoming Princess Jasmine showed me that she had some drapey pieces. So y'all know I went back to Michael's. I wanted to give Michael's another chance. So I went in and I found this chiffon, and it's really pretty. Okay, very sheer, but it's really pretty. And I was like, I'll make it work. I wanted lavender. Couldn't find lavender. I was like, this will do, like the pink against the purple. Very princessy. However, I was tired. You know, I think sometimes we forget that we're exhausted. So, I yesterday when my shift was over, I pulled out the sewing machine. I was at my grandparents' house, pulled out my sewing machine, and I stitched up my top and my bottom. And when I got through, I was like, okay, let's run get some elastic, because I knew exactly at that point what I needed. Randy got the elastic, had already gotten my chiffon from Michael's the day before, and I was like, okay, we just got to figure out how we're going to do these pieces. Baby, I fell asleep stuffing elastic into all of the casings. And when I woke up this morning, I'm talking about I slept all night with the lights on, like the big light and the 2 lamps. I do not like light when I'm in the bed, so you know I was exhausted if I slept like that. So I was like, okay, 7 o'clock. The party starts at noon. You got to get it. You got to get it. And you the auntie, so somebody probably going to call you and ask you to do something. And it's kind of what happened, but it's okay. So, time was ticking away. And finally, I was like, I ain't got time to do these purple pieces. What am I going to do? Child, there is a pink dress that I made somewhat on accident. Y'all know every year I go to our regional conference for my region for Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And a couple years ago, I made a pink kind of evening gown, like it's dressy but not overtly dressy, and made the dress. And they were like, oh no, the color was for this time is gonna be green, and I had made a pink dress. So I think for Founders Day, and I'll pop up a picture, I went to a luncheon at Alabama State, and I wore the gown because it was something, you know, specific for the undergraduate chapter Beta Pi. Shouts out Beta Pi Fall 2003, 79 Divine. Anyway, I took a picture in that dress, and I never wore the dress again. And it's just been sitting idle. And when I took the picture, because I was outside kind of like cement and whatnot, it kind of snagged the dress a little bit. So I never got rid of it. I was just like, I'm gonna take a minute whenever I can, and I'm just gonna remix this dress. Anyway, the dress was sitting over to the side, and it was laying right by the chiffon. And I looked, I was like, girl, you gonna have to sacrifice some sleeves. I cut the sleeves off the dress and pinned it to my top. I knew that I did not want something permanent draped across here, because I still wanted to be able to wear this as an outfit when it was all said and done. So I took that, and because I think when I made the dress, it was kind of pulling right here because the fabric didn't really have a lot of stretch, and I guess I didn't really measure that right when I did. So I took that, and I what am I doing? So I took the sleeves off, but I made sure I kept the serge pieces so I didn't have to serge again. You got to think smart, not hard, you know. I didn't want to do anything that was going to prolong me getting done. So I took the sleeves, cut them off, and I pretty much pinned them, just kind of pinned, and I made sure I went from here to maybe on the side of this back seam, and kind of did the same thing over here. And that was how I ended up with my drape pieces. And as far as the draping that would have been in the waist area, I was like, girl, I'm gonna put on some waist beads that are brown, and we're gonna keep it moving. I made it look like some for real jewelry. And that was the outfit. So I put my jewelry on. I had this big, huge gold kind of like, almost like plate, almost. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna kill them with this. I'm gonna do it. Girl, it was so big. It was giving tribal. It was so big. And then I knew I needed something, because I was trying to bring this picture to life. So I needed something that would go around my head. And I was like, yeah, what I put on my head wasn't really working for me. I was like, I'm giving tribal, not Arabic princess. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't giving that. So I took the necklace. Basically, I had put a necklace on my head, rhinestone necklace. Beautiful. I took it off my head and I was like, you know what? Less is more. I had my hair pulled back and I took an earring and I put that earring on the back. And my hair was already in a ball. Well, pulled back in a ponytail. And that was it. And I had a little thin, well, it was a choker, but it had like pieces to it, and I just put that around my neck, and I just thought it was beautiful, and that's how I became Princess Jasmine, and it was a hit at the birthday party. So here are pictures. My sister is very adamant about her kids not being on social media, and I respect that. So I'll just show you a few pictures of me, and I'll show you my mom because she was so cute. So I'm going to actually show you my sister because how adorable was she? First of all, my sister looks like a kid, 36 years old, 3 children, been married for 12 years. Like, she looks like a kid, and for the most part, her husband does too, even though he's muscular and all of that. We take care of ourselves, okay? But to keep true to what I said I was going to do, I went ahead and dressed this thing up immediately because I knew I had to go somewhere when this was over with. So I came home, switched out of my shoes from Amazon. Shouts out to Amazon for the Indian wedding ceremony shoes. I think that's what the description was. I'll try to pop it up here on the screen. But shouts out to Amazon for those shoes because they're gorgeous and they were very comfortable. Like, I want to wear them somewhere else. They're so cute. So came out of that and I was like, I'm gonna take the safety pins out because I did not want to make this run like stockings. I did not want to mess up anything. So I took the pins out carefully, put that to the side, switched out my neck jewelry, just put on my Stacie necklace, switched my earrings, and yeah, I put that on, let my hair down, put on my little Michael Kors kitten heel sandals. Love these down. Switch into my little cute little Michael Kors situation. Love that. And I hit the road, went out and chilled for a minute, and I'm home. So that's it, and that is all. What is my recommendation to you? Make clothing that can be a costume. If you have to make a costume, make it something that you can wear again. I hate the thought of making stuff you don't really wear it again. The first time I made those paper bag pants, I made them in black. I've worn those ridiculously. They're still intact. I still wear them. I even made a belt to go with them. And I don't think the pattern comes with belt loops. Make your own. There are plenty of videos out here showing you how to make belt loops. Very, very simple. If you don't want to make your own belt, which you could easily do from a robe pattern or a coat pattern, go on YouTube. I mean, it's so easy to make belt loops. So yeah, I made those black pants. They did me so well. I made a khaki pair. I still wear those as well. So make clothing that you can wear numerous times. Don't make something just to say you made it and then it turns into like something that needs to go in a museum. Wear your clothes. Things cost too much. You always need to have something quick and simple that you can make into whatever you need it to be. Kind of see past that. So again, this was the top to a dress. I've only made that dress one time, and it was for the maternity shoot for my sister for the child who had the birthday party today. And because she's so tiny, even when she was pregnant, I traced the pattern on keep you some pattern paper on hand too. So traced that, made that. So I still had my regular pattern and I made my top from that. And again, because my chest ain't that big, but it's enough. Okay. And so I made sure that I extended the bottom of that such that I would be decent because come on, after all, I'm a lady of a certain age. and I was going to a party with kids. I don't need to be all exposed. So there's that on that. And yeah, that's it. Make functional clothing, have fun while you're wearing it, and you'll feel good. Make sure your clothes fit, because that is the biggest confidence booster ever. Make sure your clothes fit you well, they complement your body. Don't get caught up on a number size. Make the clothing that is for your true body size. So we have the recap from me becoming Princess Jasmine and then me kicking it in the Princess Jasmine outfit after the fact. We have the recap from my latest vendor event. I love that. That's just such a huge confidence booster. And that's it. And I hope you all have enjoyed. Keep me and my family in your prayers. Just not saying too much, but I think we've had a really good run overall of not having too much sickness in our family, but you know, things change and you just gotta adjust. So we're on the upside of it right now, thank you Jesus. And yeah, but my time has kind of been spent dealing with that, but we're all happy and overall healthy. And again, that's why I've kind of been in and out, but I'm here. So I hope you all have enjoyed. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Follow me. If you have not subscribed, it's okay. But, you know, whenever you're ready, the button is over there. Click it, you know, stay in tune with all my notifications, you know, such that whenever I do get a chance to post something else, you will be the first to know. And that's it. I like to have fun. I hope you all have enjoyed. And that's it. And that's all. Till the next time. Bye. Love you.